What we need to do ourselves is to pray more for the Holy Father. Our Lord himself, when he spoke about this in Rianjo, when he spoke of what would happen and that the Pope would follow the kings into disgrace, I don't know whether Lucy asked him, but our Lord, his last remarks to her was, "It is never too late to have recourse to Jesus and Mary. It's never too late for us to pray. It's never too late to ask Our Lady and our Lord to intervene." Lucy has told us that there's no problem in the world, either national or international, either physical or moral, that cannot be solved by the Rosary. There's no problem. Even the problem of the Pope and the bishops not doing the consecration, even that problem can be resolved. We just have to pray, and as Padre Pio says, get others to pray the Rosary. We do know that it will happen, but will it happen? The question before us is, will we do what we can and what we must to bring about the consecration of Russia before the annihilation of nations, before the installment of the enemies of God over all nations, ruling us as if we were their slaves, ruling us in a way that would be most painful for us. In the Message of Akita, we're told that the living will envy the dead. After this chastisement of annihilation of nations, the living will envy the dead. Why is that? Because living conditions will be worse than you can imagine possible, under the reign of people working for the devil, who have prepared this for us, and it will happen that way unless we bring about the consecration of Russia in time. Let us then realize that it involves all of us. And just as those simple people telling their friends and neighbors about the appearances at Our Lady of Fatima, each of us, in whatever walk of life, have this role to play, to tell our friends and neighbors and to live the message ourselves. Who will win? Who's going to win? In this war to come, no one's going to win, because various nations will be annihilated. I'm not for the East, I'm not for the West, I'm not for the North or the South. I'm for humanity. Mankind together needs to hear the message of Fatima. Mankind together needs to know that there's only one solution. And of course, as St. Thomas again points out, mankind acts for one final end. We do many things. We eat, we drink, we sing, we talk, we do all these things. We have an immediate motive for why we do these things. But in all these things, we have one final motive for doing them, which is to either serve God or serve the devil. Most people see serving the devil as serving themselves, but everything has a final purpose. And of course, the devil said to Christ that he could give him the power to rule the world if you will just bow down before me. Our Lord never denied the devil could deliver that. The devil is delivering that to the Antichrist, or the Antichrists of our time. And we see ourselves squeezed more and more into conforming, or go to jail, or be executed. Whether you cannot speak against homosexuality, even though it's in the Bible, even though it's unnatural, you cannot speak against it in so-called free country like Canada. Doctors in the United States are being told that they cannot refuse to do abortions unless they get out of the profession. Now, I know that they're fighting this at different levels, and maybe it's a tug of war back and forth. I haven't kept up with the daily account of it, but this is said openly that this is their plan. And no one's horrified. No one seems to be horrified that they're calling for the murder of 6 billion people. What kind of mind has that? But there it is. And it's said in our time about us. We're all the targets of that. Do we have a necessity for the consecration of Russia? I think the case is so overwhelming and so self-evident that I don't understand why anyone of whatever stripe or color of theology, or whatever organization or affiliation you have, or whatever country you come from, it doesn't matter. Only Our Lady of Fatima can help us. There is no other way around it. The sooner we get that through our thick heads, the sooner we walk away with our prejudices and our pre-understanding of things and just say, if the Blessed Virgin tells us this, we should believe it. But today, if you do the research, you don't need her to tell us that because it's so self-evident when you look at the facts. Yes, we can try some other harebrained idea, some other scheme, some other way to do it other than Our Lady, and we can waste another 2 to 10 to 20 or 50 years. But time is limited. The time that we have been given to implement this plan is limited. I am not preaching rebellion. I'm not preaching dissent against legitimate authority, anything but. The law of the Church, for example, still commands communion on the tongue. But yet most people think that I'm being disobedient because I will not give communion in the hand. But the fact is, it's the others who are being disobedient for not obeying the law. But that is the whole perspective that's turned around, that people have got the whole thing upside down. It's the same way with the obedience to the Message of Fatima. God gives a command. It's my duty to uphold the command. And so is everyone else's duty. But I can't command you. I'm not your superior. But neither can I be commanded to tell lies. No one can tell me to do that. God wouldn't tell me to do that. And no priest or bishop or cardinal or pope has the right to tell me to do that. And yet some people do tell lies thinking they're doing the work of God because they would rather uphold the fiction that Consecration Russia has done or the fiction that the whole secret's released, even though they know better. Each of us has an obligation before God to tell the truth and defend the truth. As Pope St. Felix III said, to not confound liars or evil men when you can is to encourage them. And we've argued that quite at length in our writings. I don't know, I can't cover everything, but very simply, do we have a necessity for the consecration of Russia? Every one of us, every man, woman, and child has that necessity. And mark my words, I wish I were wrong, but it won't be long.